Hello, everyone, and welcome to a conversation that I've been, in the backstage, very backstage, talking to a friend of mine to be like, "Yo, we need to talk about this dude and his work." And lo and behold, we've been putting it off for a while, and then this dude started showing up on podcasts, and is like, God damn it. Okay, now I guess we have to talk about it now more than ever. And he just put out a movie, so we got to bring it up. Folks, I'm Ronan Jane, your host. I'm with my friend Jor Alexandra. How you doing, man?
Doing good, doing good.
And folks, if you don't know, we are going to be talking about Quentin Tarantino's specifically stuff in relation to Kill Bill, The Whole Bloody Affair, Cliff Booth, which is an upcoming movie coming out next year, and we'll dive a little bit into his most recent comic because I've been talking about it for the past week and I'm kind of done exploring that much. But we'll talk about it because for those who don't know, me and Jor are huge fans of Tarantino's film work, what he's done for cinema. And for the longest time, we're like, yo, we need to just press record and just talk for like an hour and so and see what happens. And we're like, all right, let's fucking do it. Um, So I guess now is a better time than ever. First of all, happy holidays to everybody. I hope your the weeks before Christmas and Hanukkah are going well. But put that aside, we gotta talk about Kill Bill, the whole bloody affair. Quentin Tarantino's fourth film, if my memory is right. But before we dive into the film as a whole, we gotta talk about the thing that I was shocked that came into fruition, which is the collaboration between Tarantino and Fortnite, one of the biggest, and not the biggest, gaming franchise in the world right now, and how they decided to team up and tell a lost story from his script that I heard was part of the original first draft, but never made it into the film, and never even shot a frame of it as a whole. Um, from the get go, I was just like, wait, what the hell? He's doing this now? What the hell? And I I have never played Fortnite, but I was intrigued at what this would mean for uh, Tarantino himself and for Fortnite in general. And I want to talk about it with you, Joel, because have you played Fortnite beforehand or no?
Just a little bit, just a tiny bit. But not nothing major. But I was just about to say, okay, so this lost chapter, right? Um, so I still have not watched the short. What was it, like 10 minutes or something like that? I think. Yeah. So
Yes.
I still haven't watched it. So I saw this film on Sunday, the 7th, December 7th. And this was my first time ever seeing the cut, and this bad boy is like 4.5 hours long or something like that. And apparently the short comes on like at, what's it, after the credits, like an MCU thing.
Yeah.
Okay, well, okay, as soon as the film ended, like as soon as like directed by Tarantino came up or whatever, I was gone. Okay, that was nearly 5 hours of my life. So, uh, but yeah, I have not watched the short. But regardless, though, I kind of like skimmed through it, and it seems to be like just like a all CG thing, or like a arcane type
A
of.
little bit of Spider Verse esque, if you will, not that big, but yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so admittedly, I have not watched the short yet. I still need to. Personally, I'm just like, who gives a fuck? Like, if it was so important, if it was so important, why wasn't it in the movie? Red flag number two. This whole like CGI thing, like I don't really give a fuck. I mean, I'll watch the short, obviously, and I'll give you your thoughts. And maybe I should have watched. I honestly completely forgot its existence before
Oh
we
my
just press
god.
record. If I'm just being completely honest with you. Um, Most of those thoughts have been replaced by his fuck ass Paul Dano comments, but um, yeah, that's basically my thoughts on it.
Well, let me ask you. Let me ask you this
Maybe
before
in
we go deeper. That like, because you haven't seen it yet,
yeah,
but
I was about to say in some upcoming pod I'll let you know, but that's my thoughts out the gate though.
let me ask you this: what do you think of it existing? The notion that Tarantino, of all people, would
Well,
team up with something like Fortnite. That's where I want to hear your thoughts on it because I'm intrigued by it, and I'll be right back. But I want to hear your thoughts on what this existing because I think the existence is more just as intriguing as what is told in the short. I think.
okay, you want me to wait till you come back though,
No,
or
go for it. Go for it. I just need to do something very quick.
oh,
You go for it.
I, I look, I on one hand, the Fortnite angle is it's good for his name brand, if you will. But beyond that, like I don't really care. And again, see the thing that was so great about the movie is that the whole anime section in the movie it felt like this, like late 90s, like grungy, like hand
Yeah.
drawn, like badassness, you know what I mean? It's like if you're gonna make this lost chapter, fine, but why not in similar fashion have something that has been like hand drawn or something? Like why not like go to like I don't know, Miyazaki or something, and be like, listen, I need some help, and there's gonna be some blood or something. You know what I mean? Like that would something like that would have been like, oh my god, like that would have been truly worthy of doing all this. Some kind of like CG Fortnite project just feels a bit. What are we doing here? But so yeah, I again haven't watched it, but it just not very enticing, and it doesn't really seem that urgent.
That's fair. I mean, like, here's the thing. Like, I'll just show you a frame of the
But
short
why?
itself.
Can I get your thoughts on that? Why? Like, would it not have been more satisfying if he went with like some like hand drawn anime style? Would that not have been more impressive?
Sure, but I like the notion that it's not the only animation style that I can play with, and the fact that he did give us an extra scene, and again, I won't spoil who's part of it, but they gave us an extra scene about what happened with Ishii when she was a kid, and the notion that this also exists, and that even though it's not shot in live action or in the hand drawn style like Oren's backstory, that it is canon if you just take off all the Fortnite stuff in the background side of it. I like that
Sure.
angle of it. And like to me, that was just as impressive as just like, wow, Tarantino is like I don't think he's ever to his grave he's not gonna touch a single digital camera, but the notion that he's messing around with stuff from the youth now, it shows that he's not just staying in the past. And I appreciate I'm not saying he has to do every other year, he has to put something else in Fortnite and all this stuff, but like the notion that he you know wet his feet a little bit with this, I found that intriguing because again, Fortnite has existed. One day I told myself I would give it a try, but the notion that this is was a deep connection with him of all people, I was like, all right, I want to give it a try because he loves pop culture. I guess he's hinted a lot about modern stuff, but like this is very modern, and he was willing to tackle. And I appreciate that attempt for that connection. And I'm trying to say that there's probably a huge amount of people who play Fortnite who's never watched Kill Bill, and maybe now because of this short, they will. I'm like, you know what? If that helps, kudos. From the get go, I was like, this is a marketing thing, and it's genius in my point of view. But I like the fact that they brought back Uma, they brought back Zoe Bell, and they introduced a Gogo's twin sister Yuki, played by Miyu Ishidati Roberts. And I was so just for her because it was her first acting role. I was so happy for her, and I mean, I mean, listen, whether you've seen it now, whether you not like it or not, like this art is to die for. Like I'm going to be traveling to LA soon, and I'm trying to hunt down this poster to have it on my back wall. That's how impressive it was for me. And I said it, when I watched it the first time, and when I watched it on the big screen, I'm like, I challenge Tarantino to one day do a full animated movie. Doesn't have to be in this style. It could be in the Oranishi style, but like do a full-on animated movie, or like do like a 30-minute short film in animation. Like
I
this is
will say,
aesthetic.
I will say, if his last movie was like some giant like 3 hour like, I don't know, rated R anime or something that was like similar to the anime in the volume 1 of Kill Bill, say that would be outrageous. Okay,
I
that would
would
be
fly to Japan to watch it early.
outrageous. That would Tarantino, something something to consider. Okay, yeah, that would blow my mind. And it could only be something like what was in Kill Bill Volume 1, where like
The Oranishi backstory, right?
it has to be something like that. It can't be this fuck ass Fortnite bullshit. But like I was about to say, like, I think like conceptually, obviously I like the idea of this lost chapter thing, but the execution just kind of makes me sick to my stomach. But uh yeah.
Before we go further, we do have some comments by Harrison James. How you doing, Harrison James? What up, Ronan? Jarrell's hope the holidays are treating you well. Thank you, man. I was rather surprised with how much I enjoy the Fortnite animation. Pump it into my veins. Yeah, I had a blast with it. And even they put out yesterday, they put out a making of the short. It was a 10-minute making of. And seeing Zoe Bell stunt double for Uma, and Uma both in mocap helmets and suits. I was just like, yo, I never thought this would happen. And like, I give kudos. They didn't have to do this, but they're like, I've tried everything. I've done all I've done all about stuff in acting. Why not try this and see what I can lend to it? And from the looks of it, look, they had a blast with it. So I encourage people to go watch the short itself and the making of. It was cool. And um, again, what I love about what his universes bring out in different collaborations is that the Unreal Engine team and Fortnite team, I think they used a specific song, a pop song that I had never heard of for promotion for the making of, and I've been listening to it the whole time since I saw that like teaser, like we're gonna drop a making of the shorts. Stay tuned. I was like, oh. So I appreciate that a lot, and please put out more making ofs of all these types of stuff in animation and live action. We need more making ofs, in my opinion. But yeah, I think this is a good time to transition to one of the big kahunas of our conversations. um I Okay, so this was announced, and I was like, am I gonna go full on Lord of the Rings style and just sit my ass in the theater for almost 5 hours and watch this stuff play out? Am I gonna do this? And I did, and I have thoughts, and I know you did as well, Jor-El, and you have thoughts, and that means that we're gonna be talking about Kill Bill, the whole bloody affair, folks. Heads up right now, ahead of time, if you have not seen this movie, please pause this, favorite it, go watch the movie in theaters, they're still playing, and then come back and hang out with us and hear our thoughts, because we're going to be talking spoilers across it. And it's a 20-year-old movie, but this is a new experience, I think, to take in this story in this film, I think. So, spoilers ahead, you've been warned. And hell, I'll play ball, and I'll be nice. I'll even put it in the bottom section right there, telling you what we're talking about. So I'll save my spot because I did a review of the of my thoughts on the experience, and I've been dying to hear what Jor-El thought about it. Harrison says, longest time I've been in the cinemas for one movie. LOL. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Although it doesn't rival my time spent doing the marathon for Star Wars for when Force Awakens came out. I was in that theater for almost a day and a half. But that's beyond that. Jor-El, you put it in your veins. How do you feel? Here, I'll even give you a close up.
So yeah, so well, first off, this is kind of I think 22 years in the making. I guess the following review, especially since he's always sort of talked about Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2. It was meant to be one story, but he's always been sort of like poked fun at over this, me included. But I have to say, I stand corrected. Kill Bill, it just functions better as one film. The only slight downside, if you can call it that, is that the film is 275 minutes, which is like 4 hours and 35 minutes long or something like that. This is something insane. It may be the longest experience I've had sitting down. Maybe I did watch the Glass trilogy from M. Night Shyamalan, all three back to back in theaters, and the Lord of the Rings. So maybe Lord of the Rings is the winner. But anyway, so I love the Kill Bill movies. I've always preferred volume 1 to volume 2, but yeah, these are like masterpiece films. And watching this film in theaters, it's intense because I haven't watched Kill Bill in probably about 20 years. So that was just nuts. I've grown up loving the Kill Bill movies, and loving Tarantino. I'm a super fan. But God, so I love the experience. Obviously, I just think with the flaws, because most of the time, us talking is going to be us praising every inch of this fucking thing. All right. So I do want to highlight the flaws here. One, it's, at least for me, it's too long. Okay. 4 hours. Number two, there's a character. Let me see if I can find it. It's played by Michael Madsen, Bud. Okay.
Bud, yeah, David's
Okay.
brother, or Bill's
Now
brother.
listen. He's great in both his performance wise, character wise. He's completely safe. That's not the issue here. The issue is that the film is 4.5 hours long, and I think I'm not even gonna lie to you. Well, almost every sequence. Well, I guess every dialogue sequence with Bud, for the most part, I just thought was pretty bad. Like obviously the sequence where like he gets like bit in the face by the snake, like obviously shit like that's fantastic. Or like when she opens the door and she gets she gets blown away by the shotgun. Like obviously these moments are fine, but these like dialogue centric sequences though, I just thought they were just bad or borderline bad. One of the two. Okay, I'm still processing this giant fucking thing, but I thought these sequences were kind of just bad. Like the dialogue was mostly unremarkable. They were so slow paced. Okay, in a film this long, no. Okay. Much love to Bud and the Michael. Obviously, but like, stop. Number two, once we get to God, I guess. Well, I actually, once we get to the volume 2 sections of the film, there's most of the sequences with Bill. They run on for just far too long, in my personal opinion. I'm not saying that these sequences are bad, but for the love of God, like especially this moment where like Bill is monologuing about Superman. It's not like I'm saying like conceptually or what he's saying is bad per se, but it's just like he's just he's just going on. I mean, David is legendary in this film. His voice is legendary. But for fuck's sake, again, maybe I'm getting old or something, but there's a moment during this film in the back half where like a whole section of my like left ass cheek and leg just starts throbbing and hurting all of a sudden and like malfunctioning and shit. Okay, I'm just saying it's a very long film. Let's keep up the kinetic pacing from volume one. I mean, for a film this long, it's like Bill, I love you, but sometimes can you just shut it up, Bill, or can you just like trim it up? Um, I'm getting tired. Can you still hear me, by the way? Because I got a weird message.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, but yeah. Other than that, God, were there any other flaws I had? Honestly, other than that, I feel like that's not bad for the 4.5 hour long, vengeance samurai sword epic, if you will. I think it might be the second best thing that exists from Tarantino potentially. It's pretty
Ooh,
fucking strong. It's pretty fucking strong. I'm not
I
gonna
might
lie.
debate
I
that.
mean,
Yeah.
it's kind of like outside those flaws, which make me want to bang my head against the wall. But outside of that, I mean, it's pretty much just top tier shit, just like masterpiece level shit, like the type of shit you grab like 12 random niggas and you're like, hey, you ever seen this film before? Oh, you've never seen them before, and then you just like blow all their fucking minds. It's a hell of a good time. It's probably like a 11 out of 10, to be honest with you. It's like essential cinema, in my personal opinion. I get that the 4 hour mark is pretentious. It is. And it's a bit eye roll inducing, which it kind of should be. But at the same time, it's better than, you know, it's better than most filmmakers' like entire catalog, or it's better than like most movie franchises out there that make these billions of dollars in the box office. Yeah, it was one of my favorite times of the year in the movie theater.
Nice. Okay. So I I generally don't think I have any flaws with the movie. Um, a lot of the early stuff that you were saying, I completely was in sync with. Like I've always preferred Volume One over Volume Two, and I think I told you this when I walked out and seeing it. I'm like, dude, this makes me appreciate Volume Two way more. The second half, it makes me appreciate it way more.
It does. I would agree there. It
Yeah,
does. I did just want to say real quick, like the back half of Volume Two, it's just so much more slower paced. It's very dialogue heavy,
yeah.
right?
Which I don't
Um,
mind, but like it's always like you're telling me what in Volume Two over the House of Blue Leaves. I'm like, no, 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 no. Keep me in the House of Blue
no,
Leaves for 2 hours.
it's like the volume two section is still great, but it just gets a bit long in the tooth, if you will. It like sometimes it feels like I was hungry for 3 scoops of ice cream, and some nigga showed up with like a semi and a couple of trucks full of ice cream, and I was just like, my G, like I don't know that I'm necessarily complaining, question mark, but like this is a bit too much. And I do think that there's a lot of stretches, particularly again with Bill talking and volume two, where I'm just like, I mean, it's not bad, but it's intriguing to think that like Quentin's writing has like evolved beyond Kill Bill, because I was just like, damn, it's interesting that like these scenes are interesting, but you can tell there's other moments elsewhere where his dialogue is just like so much better. It's just kind of scary in a way, but um Yeah, in some ways he should be impressed that I'm saying that like the dialogue is a bit weak here because it's just like, most of what he's done is masterpieces for me.
Yeah, and like I don't know, dude. Again, for the first, this was, and I told this to you. It was my first time watching anything Kill Bill on the big screen. So you have to take that into consideration and be like, "Yo, it's gonna make a huge like impact on me." And so like seeing Sonny Chiba on the big screen as Hotori Hanzo was almost like a religious experience. Watching the anime sequences was a religious experience. Seeing Gordon Liu as Pompey and um the head of the Crazy 88, seeing Lucy Liu as Oren Ishii, and like I remember, I'm not gonna discuss money or not, but like the amount I paid for a price of admission when we were in the House of Blue Leaves, I was just like, this is worth every penny I spent to get into this theater, and it is worth just sitting here. I have the movies at home. It is worth it to drive all the way here and just see on the big screen and hear it. Hearing Ennio Morricone's music blasting with that visuals, I just was mwah about it. Um, and there was a
Yeah,
lot of stuff. Go ahead.
I was about to say, should we say what like our favorite chapters were, or what's like
Sure,
the
sure. But before we do that, I just want to say that like I picked up on a lot more subtle or more just intense stuff that Uma did as an actress, and I picked up on a lot of stuff. I picked on like something like I had always heard about it, just didn't never like you know investigated it. But like there's a moment where I realized, oh wow, Oren was the first on the list, but like I don't think it's a secret that like potentially Oren and the bride, Beatrix Kiddo, were good friends beforehand. And this is now it's not just badass, it's sad. It's sad that like to the point when she says, "Are you ready?" and she says like, "Do it," or like, "I am," and then kills Oren Ishii, and it's just like it's sad now that like it came to this that like, and even she apologizes. I apologize for insulting you beforehand when I threw all my crazy 88s at you, and it's just like, and she says accept, and it's like it's the most peaceful moment in the movie, I think, until she gets her kid back at the very, very, very end. Um, Seeing David Carradine as Bill was just beautiful and sad in so many ways because he's no longer with us. And then seeing the five finger death punch, and then seeing that music blow up as he's about to die, and it just like it was so beautiful. And like I need more Uma Thurman in my life, and we need her in more movies and shows. Like she's so badass, and just seeing the stunt work. And again, folks, this version, the House of Blue Leaves, is longer. There's more limbs. There's more fighting. There's more people. Somebody gets chopped in half, literally. And so cool. The sweat, blood, and tears of the stunt and the crew is felt in every effing frame of the movie. And so I just want to give them props for that. In terms of my favorite chapter of the movie, it's always going to be either the origin of Oren Ishii or the House of Blue Leaves. It's those two are just like he did it. What about you, Jor-El?
Yeah. So favorite chapters. I mean, I think chapter 5, the showdown at the House of Blue Leaves, is probably my top favorite. That's got to be top tier. Like the whole first off, seeing the crazy 88 fight, even though supposedly it wasn't actually 88, but it's just the name of the group. But seeing it in color, fully in color, without the black and white sections, was
Switch, yeah.
unbelievable. Because I've never seen the whole bloody affair prior to this. As a matter of fact, it was never made public, the whole bloody affair. Like if you wanted to watch it prior to it being in theaters,
In our
you
neck
had
of the
to.
woods, it was
Yeah,
always available in Japan, which I should have tried attempted to buy it while I was in Japan, but like Tarantino
like
always said,
physical media
yes,
version.
yes.
Oh,
Yeah, he always said
interesting.
that like the Japanese
Not
get
stateside.
it. The Japanese always got it, and they were never too, what's the right word, anal about the blood. but he knew most Americans and Northern America and Europeans would be like, oh, it's too much blood. It's like, no, no, no. The Japanese get it. Hence, this is why it's a big homage to all the kung fu samurai movies that he's watched.
Listen, stateside, the only way you were watching that fucking thing is if you like went to the New Beverly or if you just like personally just know Tarantino. As it's been like sort of like whispered about and locked away for like 20 years now. But so yeah, this was my first time having access to the film. I did not know about this Japanese thing. That would have been well, there can't be too many copies.
I mean, knowing Quentin, of course, there's got to be prints elsewhere. Just you have to just find it and whatnot. Like,
that's interesting shit. Because fuck, if I had known there was like some kind of Japanese Blu-ray or something, I would have bought this some bitch. Well, yeah, that's gotta be a son of a bitch. But or at least there must be like some kind of like digital scans of the film or something somewhere. I'm gonna have to look for this actually, because I have not heard of what you're
apparently, Kim McCarthy, someone who I admire and watch his interviews and podcasts, he said that he had bought the $100 something box set with the Japanese version with all the red, and that it came with the Okinawa shirt that the bride wears. And I was like, that's cool. Like if you have a girlfriend and you want to make her look sexy one night, like you give her the shirt and you're like, yo, you're like the bride from Kill Bill. Like when I heard that story, I was like, oh, that's sweet. But like, yeah, we'd have to hunt that down, like an Arrow video or something like that would have, or Shout Factory, someone who would have that version.
Yeah, we'll have to circle back to that, but yeah, no, like I said, chapter 5 is probably the best. What's the name of the song that that Beatrice is sort of walking? She's walking into the building too, and like, or she's driving her motorcycle. What is that song?
Battle Without Humanity and Honor, something like that. Fuck, I had it right now recently. Hold on, but yeah, it was
so good. Yeah, so good, so good. That in theaters was just, or that stretch of the fight where it's it's Uma Thurman was like this, like 1 versus like 100. It's not literally 100, but it's like her versus like a bunch of people, like slaying them down. It's very reminiscent of like the Matrix Reloaded, Neo versus like these like probably in that case like hundreds of people.
Battle Without Honor and Humanity by Tomoyasu Hote.
Okay, yeah, banging bitchin' song. Great moments. The stretch of the fight where she's fighting all these guys and there's like that blue background with the blue light, that hypnotic blue lighting. It's just
this one,
man, it's so great. Yes. Kill Bill is amazing. Essential. Okay, absolutely essential. So great. But yeah, no, chapter 5 is great. Chapter 3, the origin of Oren, is pretty fantastic. I think beyond that, I think wherever when she's training,
pump it, yeah.
Pompe with this like this like head monk in the
Gordon Liu, Gordon Liu, yeah,
up in the mountains,
which I had never. I remember when Tarantino did press for Hollywood, he mentioned that like, if you look at Kung Fu Panda, it's literally a spoof on Kill Bill, and you go and you think about that movie. Oh yeah, when Dustin Hoffman's training Jack Black, and about the noodle one, that's literally from Kill Bill, and it's like, what the? Oh, that's awesome.
That's funny. I've only seen the first Panda film, by the way. Fun fact, but yeah, no. So I guess that's chapter 7. Yeah, chapter 7. That whole training was great, and then honestly, I guess probably just Face to Face and onwards. But I mean, most of it's just perfect. I mean, the fact that it kind of just like comes on like a bat out of hell. Like the movie kind of just like, it just wastes no time. And for pretty much like the the entirety of volume one, it's just sort of hits the ground running, and it sort of like never stops running until it comes to a slow creep and just walking through volume two mostly. But
Yeah.
volume one is absolutely bonkers. I mean, the big huge fight, even in the opening minutes, I just gotta say, when I was a kid and I watched Kill Bill for the first time, the whole black and white moment, and Beatrice is all beat up, and Bill is
This
talking
one?
to her, and
Yeah.
yeah, he's wiping her down. Okay, when she like mutters something, and then she just unexpectedly gets shot in the head, and it's at least for me, it was a jump scare. Okay, that scared the flying fuck out of me when I was a little kid. Okay, like even to this day, I still like unconsciously like brace for it, even though I know it's coming, because it's like one of the greatest jump scares like ever created. Like absolutely terrifying. Oh man, but yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know where you rank it. I think you said it's top three. Here's the weird thing. Kill Bill doesn't make my top three. It might be top five. Um, but I'll say this. He said that the bride is his most iconic character. And as someone who, and we're gonna talk about him later, who loves the character, even though I know he has some trouble, who loves Cliff Booth, who loves Django Freeman, um, I can admit that, like, okay, yeah, probably, yeah, the bride is probably his most iconic character, I think, especially when she's wearing the Bruce Lee Game of Death yellow jumpsuit one. Like that is peak cinema. And Yeah, I one of these days I need my own Hotori Hanzo blade.
Oh yes, and I love the whole section of her traveling to him.
Okinawa, yeah,
Yeah, and she needed the Japanese steel, and he was
to
like,
kill
you know,
vermin, you must have big rat for Hotori Hanzo steel. It's huge, and she's like, whew.
yeah, and he was like, you know, it'll take me a month to make it, and
If you
yeah,
were to
that
encounter God, even God would be cut by this blade. And it's like, oh shit.
yeah, the greatest sword I think like ever made.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it was like the greatest sword ever made. Like I like this is like better storytelling than where we're at cinematically with Star Wars. Okay, like, and it's amazing. It's great. It's just. I mean, I did a ranking one time of Tarantino's films, then like I switched like three things around, and I was like, oh, what the fuck? But so I just threw it away. So with that one exception, I haven't done any Tarantino rankings. So I'm not really sure what my rankings would be currently, but I would say that, you know, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is my favorite Tarantino film. It's been that way since
same.
I saw it. I saw it in 2019. But I'm not gonna lie, this is the first known time ever uh, that I've ever just been like, you know, I feel like the whole bloody affair is. I'm probably just gonna like slide it into slot number two and just leave it there for now. Um, because I mean, it's just so much. It's just so much mastery. The fight sequences during that crazy '88 fight are choreographed like to a legendary level. Okay. The use of light, the color palette. Like one thing that blew my mind was God, what's the character's name? Hang on a second. It's played by Vivica A. Fox, Vernita.
Renita Green,
Vernita.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Okay, so the opening fight sequence with her and Beatrice, like at the beginning, like the film has there and sort of retains this weird, like candy coated uh, aesthetic or like lighting, like the you know Vilka's wearing she's wearing this like blue top that like has this like candy esque sort of a color to it when it's in sunlight, you know, or any kind of light. And like the fact that the whole film is that way, it's just a visual treat, literally. All right. um, yeah, I don't know. I think it's probably Hollywood and the whole bloody affair. That's got to be the top two for me for the
My
time being.
top
It's
three
gotta be.
are Hollywood, Django, and Glorious Bastards. Those are my three.
Um, if I was gonna put something in three, I have no idea what it'd be.
Well, at least I know
It'd,
this.
pro- it'd
Go ahead.
probably be Pulp Fiction, but
Yeah.
I would have to sit on like a definitive rating or ranking. But as far as top two goes, I feel
Confident.
very confident sliding in the whole bloody
Okay.
affair. Like there's so many iconic shots or like musical or like needle drops.
I get it. Yeah.
There's so many great characters, or just character moments at least. Like like what's the little girl with the swinging
I'll go.
chain? Oh, Go Go.
Yeah. Who's
Yeah,
Yuki's twin sister? Yeah, yeah.
that duel between her and Beatrice was so tense.
Yeah.
So tense.
You can beg better than that. It's like, whew.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think eventually we'll have to make our own, like, just a video of just tier list ranking Tarantino's films and his scripts as well. So we could even throw in little true romance and natural born killers there if you want to. And then I guess
Yeah.
the project that we're gonna be talking about now that is would be connected to it, I think, in some regards. And folks, we are gonna be talking about a film that Netflix is going to be putting out next year, written by one of the greatest directors of all time, directed by one of the greatest directors of all time, starring one of the best actors of all time. And that is The Adventures of Cliff Booth. This is the one I just made. This is not an official like logo stuff, and I just made it out of Hollywood font. But we've been almost like in a disagreement with this, Jor-El. I am pumped as fuck for this movie. I am just more than just pumped. I'm probably just intrigued as hell of like what does this movie hold and what about it made Fincher be like, oh, you're not gonna do it? Okay, I'm doing it. If you're not gonna do it, I'm doing it. Give me that script now. And if Quentin wasn't gonna do anything, I don't want to do it now. Okay, I'll sell you the script and you can do it. And he trusts him and whatnot. I am aching to see something soon, a teaser, just be like, what is this movie about? Why are we spending time to hang out with Cliff Booth? And it's coming out next year, I think in the summer. It's from what the reports have been thus far. And I'm just ecstatic with also the cast that I know is behind it. But what about you, Jora? How do you feel about The Adventures of Cliff Booth coming soon?
Okay, so what is the release date? What's the
Word on the
official?
street is that it's next summer.
Oh, so we don't have an official release date yet?
No,
Okay.
June and July is the word of mouth when it's coming out. I think either by the time the Super Bowl happens or by the time CinemaCon comes around, we'll know the release date, I think.
Okay. All right. Well, my thoughts on this are going to be pretty brief and short, to be honest with you. The Adventures of Cliff Booth. I love David Fincher. He's one of my favorite filmmakers. He's made some of my favorite movies. But for me, I guess if you will, the golden era of Fincher's work was sort of like the inception of his career to I want to say about like 2014 with Gone Girl, and for some bizarre reason, like beyond that point to present day, I have no idea what this song is, but it's um, it's just been in the shadow of his previous work, everything that he's done. Um,
Did you like The Killer? I liked it a lot.
I think I liked it. I think barely. I really was not into it at all. I thought it was like one of the weakest things that Fincher has ever done, to be
Damn.
honest with you. Really didn't care for it. A lot of it I thought was pretty boring. I mean, it was technically well made, but like when the fuck has he made something that wasn't technically well made though? But yes, the storytelling I just thought was just mostly boring or forgettable. Not really sure what he's trying to do there. There's like a fight sequence that's pretty fucking sick in the
Yeah.
film. There's some fleeting moments in like the first like 15, 20 minutes that are interesting, but other than that, I just thought like, what the fuck happened there? But I thought the score was kind of nice, though. I think it's the only other positive I could say. But what I'm trying to tell you is I really don't give a flying fuck about this film. I don't know why. I don't know why we're having Fincher making a Cliff Booth film that just doesn't make sense to me. I mean, like, you know, Tarantino shoots on film. Hollywood was shot, on celluloid. So the concept of like, this Tarantino world and Cliff Booth having this like digital aesthetic, just like innately, it's just like, wait, what? And it's not coming from the Hoss man himself, Tarantino, which is also just like a wait, what? No. And then with Fincher, like, again, I feel post 2014, he's been just off. So it feels very bizarre to be giving him this Cliff Booth script, especially because everybody's in this huge position of like, what's Tarantino's last film gonna be, So for this like confusingly Tarantino but like not Tarantino film to be coming out, it just feels like, could we not, could we not just bring back what was it even called now? What was it, Mindhunters or Mindhunter?
Yeah.
Whatever.
The show. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, can we not just like bring that back, or can we not get like another girl to dragon tattoo? Can we not like surgically remove your skull from Netflix or something? Netflix's asshole. Can we not do that? Can we not do other things? Venture? No. Shit. What are we doing here? It's like opposite day. Why is Fincher doing Cliff Booth? Why is Aaron Sorkin doing fucking Social Network? It's like, what the fuck's going on? It's like mass hysteria is going on. But yeah, I really I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. I don't have much to say about this film. I mean, everybody seems to think I'm crazy. So I don't know. Maybe it'll be a 10 out of 10 masterpiece, and maybe I won't notice the difference between this, or if Tarantino is behind the camera, but it just feels sort of, very uninteresting. Even the pictures that you showed, I guess they were like on set pictures. I thought looked terrible. I think that looks terrible.
Oh no, man, that looks terrible. Like
can you go back to that picture? Can you go back to that picture again? Actually, that just looks horrible, particularly on the right side. No, but I mean, I love Cliff.
What about him and Elizabeth Debicki there? Like, she looks like a studio head or like a producer or director and whatnot. It's like, I don't know. Here's the thing. Before we go further, I want to bring up
those like stills from a deleted sequence. That's what that's
like. Hunter says, "Run on chain. What's up, fellas? Did you see the Golden Globes? Thurman did not receive no votes." Yeah, I don't think the Golden Globes or the Academies don't look too fondly on like comic related stuff all the time, so that doesn't surprise me. But Golden Globes, shout out to the love for Andor, although they should have given more love for the actresses, because they're probably just as strong, or not stronger parts of the show. Harrison James said, although I've always loved both volumes, seeing both together on the big screen gave me a much bigger appreciation for Volume 2. I agree, 100. Yeah, same. Chapter 5. Visually, the bride is just so iconic and yellow. Gave me the Jedi or Han Solo type Uma, please, and thank you. Inglorious, Hollywood, and Django for me too. Kill Bill and Pulp very close. Yeah, yeah, I agree. I don't know, dude. Like, here's the thing. I've always said it that I wanted. Look at this. We got novelization for Hollywood, and I love the novelization. I love it. There's so much more extra material in it. But I've always said, like, I want to know more about what happened to Rick and Cliff. And I think the goal of this movie, and I think it has some sync and similarities to even the Mando and Grogu movie, where like both movies have to stand on their own if you've never heard of these characters before. But if you have heard of them before, if you've watched the stuff prior to it, like the show or Once Upon a Hollywood, it should connect just as well to follow up what happened to them. So that's the big question. Why are we hanging more time with Cliff Booth in this era? He clearly, and I love the character of Rick Dalton and what Leo did with the performance, but like Cliff Booth stole the movie, I think. Like he was just the highlight, like, yo, I want to hang out with that dude. It's effed up that he potentially killed his wife, but like I want to hang out with that dude. And yeah, I'm just very intrigued because it's also Brad Pitt teaming up with Fincher again. We haven't had that since Curious Case of Benjamin Button, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, and
maybe, but I'm telling you right now, Fincher, this better be fucking the one, okay? He better come out fucking big dick swinging on this one, okay? This needs to be like no fucking around, okay? This needs to be like the best goddamn thing that he's done since Gone Girl, if not better, okay? Like this, he needs to show out for this one, because it just seems so. I don't know. It just seems like his work recently just feels so. It just doesn't have that usual Fincher pop, or it doesn't feel like the usual like, oh my god, it's an event. David Fincher drops. Like it doesn't feel that way.
I don't know. I really dug The Killer, and I think I had that. Like, here's the thing: The Killer movie introduced me to the Smiths. I had never heard about the Smiths beforehand, and that movie introduced me to it. And like, you do sense it when he's up there to do the assassination. You do get it when he's trying to like get out of the airport and whatnot. I feel it's still there in my opinion. Another angle I'm interested with this film as well is who's going to shoot it. Is it Bob Richardson? Is it Robert Richardson himself, who's been Tarantino's guy for the longest time, or did Fincher get Deakins? Did he get his usual guy who shoots most of his stuff when I like? I'm very intrigued to see.
I mean,
be shooting it as well.
I mean, it's gonna be shot digitally, so I mean, I guess
Deakins shoots digital.
Sure. I mean, if he gets the Deakins, that would be fucking major. That's for sure. That would be major. I don't know. I've been trying not to think about it too much until like a trailer drops, and then I kind of get my head around it more. But until like a trailer or something drops, and even then, it just feels so like this is just so not what I personally want. I sort of get where you're coming from, and the other people who are pumped for the project. For me, it just feels like very similar thing with Aaron Sorkin with the Social Network too. It's just like, what are we doing here? Like, no, that doesn't sound like a good idea, like literally at all. I don't know. I hope that I'm surprised. Again, I hope like Fincher like blows my socks off somehow or something.
Okay.
I mean,
we'll put a pin on it and we'll hold off. And who knows, maybe we'll do a Talking Tarantino too when we do get a trailer or any more news out of Tarantino land. But something that blew a lot of people's socks off of like, wait, what are we hearing now? Is I don't know about you, Jor-El. We've talked about it like passively. But Uncle Quentin recently went on his podcast and he was talking about stuff and whatnot, and someone brought up his favorite films of the 21st century. He ranks them, and he goes off the spiel of that he's not a big fan of Paul Dano and that he's the worst actor in SAG and all this stuff. And, nothing new that you haven't heard of in the past week and a half. I think. Um, but again, I don't want to spend too much time talking about it, but I think it's worth talking about because we are talking about the man's material. Um, I'll say this: I don't agree at all with his opinion on this matter. It's not the first time he's had an opinion that I disagreed with. I mean, go back and look at what he thinks of the Last Crusade in Indiana Jones. Go look back and what he thinks of Spectre against Skyfall. Um, it's not the first time that I've heard these, in my opinion, hot takes from him. Um, and the internet didn't take too kindly to it, and they all responded with support to both Paul Dano, Owen Wilson, and Matthew Lillard. Um, but yeah, this is sometimes I don't know how you feel about it, Jordan, but just something like Uncle Quentin, like, no, come on, man. But it's his opinion. I wholeheartedly agree with it. I think there was no reason to like go after Paul that bad. There's I'm not gonna put up the photo, but there's been a photo, passing around. We both liked it, retweeted it, of Paul being interviewed. In the background, you see Quentin just look at him. It feels very much like a Halloween poster of like Laurie Strode and Michael Myers. Um, but yeah, were you how did you feel? Because I first I was like, no, this is AI. There's no way he said this, but he did.
Yeah, I mean, this is another one where I don't have too much to say on it, but I mean, his recent comments about Paul Dano and I think Matthew Lillard and I think Owen Wilson
Yeah.
as well, where he like heavily criticized their performances or um I mean, in my personal opinion, I didn't like the comments. He personally came across um, pretty careless or insensitive with his comments. I mean, like it's literally Tarantino speaking. Everything he says can go viral in seconds. So from that perspective, and especially since these are like films that were like on the list bizarrely. Like There Will Be Blood was like number 5 on the list. It's like if it's number 5 on the list, it's like, did we really need to go on this whole
Tirade.
rant? But I don't know. I mean, I didn't agree. I didn't agree with the comments. Didn't like the comments. They shouldn't have been publicized, and I don't know. It's not worth condemning, but I was pretty pissed about the comments.
I wouldn't even say I was pissed. I think a lot of us. I heard the real rejects even talking about it. I remember just being like, "We were just disappointed." I was disappointed. I was like, of all people, you're such a cinema enthusiast.
Sure.
And I'm not
I was
saying he's
definitely pretty. I was definitely pretty pissed. I mean,
yeah.
it was very like. I mean, he had a major win with Once Upon a Time. He had this Fortnite deal. He's got this upcoming uh, stage play. There's the final film. Uh, People particularly love Cliff Booth and Rick Dalton. So it's just like, he's having this peak moment of positivity, and to sort of like potentially dismantle it because of your own words just feels like, Jesus Christ. Let's tighten it up a little bit, Tarantino. But like I said, I don't think it's worth condemning. So in many ways, this conversation sort of feels been pointless. But I mean, I'm not trying to condemn, but I
We
didn't
just want
like
to
the
make it
comment.
across that, like, listen, we're praising the man's work, but he's not a saint, and
Oh, sure. Yeah.
he's not always right in our thoughts. I just wanted That's why I brought it up. Again, we've said it across text messages and other shows and whatnot, but like, I 100% disagree with him. Doesn't mean I'm not gonna watch his stuff anymore. Um, but I would think he would, open his eye more with stuff like this, especially with podcasts and stuff and whatnot. And I don't mind him hanging out with podcasters. I think that's cool and all, but just like, and again, he won't convince me otherwise. I won't convince him otherwise, but just it's what it is. And we'll see where we go forward. I'm looking forward to seeing where his material goes in the future. I've talked to you about it, how the one of the stories that got away was the Vega brothers. I'm still hoping we get that as a graphic novel or novel one of these days, to be like, what happened with Vic and Vincent in Amsterdam? And there's been talks about Kill Bill 3. Um, you've read Cinema Speculation, or at least you have it in your collection. I need to still get it and read through it, see what he feels about a certain era in film. But um, yeah, we finally talked about Tarantino after all this time. We're like, yo, we need a fucking press the record button.
Yes, yes. I was just about to say to talk about his final film for a second. I'm surprised you don't have like a banner going for like his final film, but yeah, for his final film though, I didn't want to hesitate there because we haven't exactly like directly talked about it. But my big conspiracy theory about his final film is that it's going to be Kill Bill 3. This like this Fortnite deal coming out of nowhere is very like telling towards his theory. The whole bloody affair. I think this was on the Pearson podcast or one of these podcasts, just like a few months back. Maybe it was 11 months ago, 8 months ago, whatever. But Tarantino was just talking not even that long ago, saying that he's not gonna release the whole bloody affair. He wants it to be like to feel exclusive, this exclusivity to like the New Beverly. And then just now, just out of nowhere, after like 20 something years, wham! All of a sudden, he's just totally open to releasing it in theaters, and I'm sure there's gonna be like some fantastic 4K physical media, and he's also, so that's another thing, that I think nods towards the theory. But another big thing is that somewhere, can't remember where, but Tarantino stated that if he was speculating about what his final film was going to be, it was either going to be something like epilogue-y, or like he was wanting Hollywood to be like his last big epic, but if he was going to do another one, he would only do it if it was going to be Kill Bill 3. And I think that's very telling to me, because if you're gonna, I think he described it to Joe Rogan or to Tom Segura. It was one of the two, probably Joe Rogan, where he was saying that when he makes the final film, he wants it to go out with a bang. Like if he's holding a mic, you drop in, then boom. And I think if you're gonna go out like that, I don't know that something epilogue-y satisfies that. I think like a final big epic that rivals or bests Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is the way you do it. If you're gonna do this final film, and if you're gonna do it, he kind of already played his hand, so I'm gonna speculate that it's Kill Bill 3. Uma's still round, still in great shape. There's some really unique casting we could do. The many ways that he could shoot the film. I think it would be historic. But yeah, that's been my best theory on what his third on what his final film could be. But yeah, I didn't know if you had speculated heavily on.
No, I didn't, just because again I knew nothing of what it could be. Again, we know that he's written almost a series. I think a Bounty Law series. I think he's written a couple plays. Like he's been working when he hasn't put out a movie. He's put out 2 books and he's been working nonstop. And it's just like, if we could only be a fly in his office to be like, yo, what is he working on now?
Well, what do you think about it potentially being Kill Bill Volume 3?
If he does, he's gonna have to top Hollywood. And he said that as much, that like Hollywood's supposed to be the last epic. If anything, that the 10th film has to be an epilogue. And if he brings it back to LA, just a small, simple story that's still just as dynamic as any of his previous 9 movies, I think that's enough. And like when he got married and when he announced that he was having a kid, I knew that like it was inevitable that he's gonna have to stop. And I don't blame him for not wanting to do any more. Obviously, I want more movies, but like him being a father or a director, I would let him want to be a father and make sure those kids have a dad around. And but again, he's also said that when he's put out the two books, it's the best film where he's written and put in as much work writing, and that's it. He's done. It's like, whew. And so after his 10th film, give me a couple shows, give me a couple limited series shows, give me a couple fiction novels from his characters and his universes. Like, bring back paperback reading, bring back a lot of this stuff, make it an event to go to run to Barnes and Noble besides Criterion Collection stuff nowadays, or go to Starbucks and meet up with your friends. Like, make it an event now that, like, at Barnes and Noble near you, the new Tarantino novel, and it's like, oh, like, again, I make it a joke now. If I started earning a lot more money and my views grew and grew, my subs grew more on the channel, one of these days, if he does something like this, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna call you up and like, Jor-El, clear your schedule for the next 3 days, fly your ass to LA. I'll help you with the flight. Get in here. We're gonna go hunt down a first print of his novel, and we're gonna like talk about it for like that weekend. And we would do so. I think if we were in the same vicinity, we'd be like, yo, let's go. We're gonna do it.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'd be down. Shit.
Yeah, that's where I feel about it, and I think that's a good way to wrap it up. I think that we've said our piece on Kill Bill: The Whole Bloody Affair, on our variety thoughts on the Adventures of Cliff Booth, on the Lost Chapter short from Fortnite, Yuki's Revenge, his recent comments, and this is not the last time we'll talk about Tarantino. And I am very interested to see where we're at when we come and revisit another Talkin Tarantino episode in the near future. And yeah, I was just like, man. And eventually we'll do a tier list of his films and his scripts. I can't wait to do that one as well. See where we line up or we disagree. But until then, Jor-El, thanks so much for taking the time out of your day. Please plug yourself. Let people know where they can follow you, what you're working on, and where they can go watch right now.
Sure. Well, it is on the, as you see it on the screen, Jor-El's Alexandria. That's like my main hub. That's my YouTube channel where you can find all my main content there. And yeah.
Nice. Oh man, I wasn't expecting that. I'm gonna be covering Stranger Things in the next few days or the next few weeks, I should say, for Volume 2, and you can follow me on my channel. What am I dropping? Of the past week or so, nonstop Kill Bill related stuff you can go watch and check out, and more anime stuff. I don't know when I'm gonna drop it, but my next anime series I've already recorded. I just need to just drop it and make sure everything's set, and you'll see more coverage of it. And Fallout's around the corner. The Game Awards is around the corner, and you best believe when the Supergirl teaser or the Avengers Doomsday teaser drops, we're gonna be covering it. So thank you everybody for taking the time. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and we'll see you in the next stream or video. Take care, everybody.